In the past 10 elections, Macomb County voters have chosen the winning candidate 8 times. Going back to the 80s, the counties voted twice for Ronald Reagan, then voted for Bush Sr. In 1996, voters chose Bill Clinton, then solidly chose Barack Obama twice before flipping to Donald Trump in 2016, giving him 54% of the vote. It's these voting habits that have interested political pollsters and national media alike. But before we get deeper into voting habits, who are these neighbors in Macomb County so keen on predicting presidents? And how have they changed in recent decades? For the numbers, we turn to the census data from Macomb County and Metro Detroit stats guru Kurt Metzger, demographer and director emeritus of Data Driven Detroit. We spoke to voters in Warren at our first community conversation at Dovetail Cafe in November. They had a sense of the demographic changes in their county. Let's find out just how right they are.
We've lost our youth. They've moved away.
It's true. 17% of the population in Macomb County is over 65. Millennials make up only 26% of the population. In comparison, 33% of the people in Wayne County are 20 to 39 years old.
Macomb is aging. Mainly what we're seeing is because of births going down. A lot of young people leaving Macomb for other areas.
What about diversity?
I think when you look at Macomb County, what a lot of people don't realize is that it really kind of is a piece of America because of the diversity that we have from 8 Mile all the way up to the top of Macomb.
Very true. Since 2010, more than 31,000 African Americans have moved into the southern end of the county.
What we've seen is a lot of movement from Detroit into southern Macomb particularly because of the schools. When the economy tanked in the 2007, 2008, we had foreclosures, so you had a lot of openings, and African Americans with less resources who couldn't afford to go to Oakland County found Roseville, Warren, East Point particularly.
And immigrants from all over the world have settled in Macomb County.
So Macomb County tends to get more recent immigrants. They haven't established themselves, so they're lower income in many cases.
Metzger says the county has a large Chaldean population, and they are Catholics from northern Iraq, in cities like Sterling Heights, Macomb Township, and Shelby Township. Both Syrian and Iraqi immigrants call Warren home.
Macomb has the largest Albanian population of any county in the country and continues to get Albanians.
Other immigrant populations, Metzger points out, include Ukrainians, Bangladeshi, and Hmong. Much of the Hmong populations come from Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand.
Macomb has really gotten on the bandwagon to be one of the first welcoming counties in the state, very much realizing that the diversity is a strength that they have.
What happens as you head north in Macomb County?
There is a divide, or perceived divide within the county, that in the north end you've got some pockets that are the wealthiest parts of Macomb County, up around Shelby and Romeo. And down here, you have some of the poorest pockets of Macomb County.
There is a trend of young families with more wealth choosing to live north of M59.
What we've seen is M59, that northern from Shelby, Macomb, now moving even farther into Ray Township, up near Armada, Romeo, those areas. A lot of Oakland County transplants, primarily white homeowners moving into those areas, tended to be larger families, looking for the larger homes and those opportunities and good school districts.
Despite the movement into and out of Macomb County, it is still the third most populated county in the state and has seen higher than average voter turnout in recent years. In the 2016 presidential election, Macomb County had a 67% voter turnout. Statewide, voter turnout was 63%. For the 2018 midterm election, Macomb has a 59% turnout, higher than the 55% turnout statewide. Stan Greenberg is a Democratic pollster well known for studying Macomb County voters and working on Bill Clinton's election campaign.
I first went to Macomb County when I became a pollster. I left academia to try to figure out how the Reagan Democrats abandoned Democrats and what Democrats could do to get them back.
And despite all the demographic changes in Macomb, there's one voting bloc that piques interest as he continues to talk to Macomb County voters.
You know, though Macomb itself, has changed and become itself a little bit more diverse, but it's still a place where white working class voters are predominant.
He believes it's these white working class voters that flipped Macomb County in 2016 and gave Trump the election.
We have an election where Hillary Clinton ignores Michigan, doesn't respect working people, doesn't run on the kind of issues that matter to these voters. And when they're not respected, they turn away, and Trump was talking about trade, throwing out NAFTA and these trade agreements and working for them, and produced a margin in Macomb that was big enough to give him a win in Michigan. If not for Macomb, Trump would not have won Michigan and maybe would not have won the presidency.
But he's not so sure Macomb voters will swing the same way in 2020.
I'm not one of those people who think the Trump voters, the swing Trump voters, are still with him. I think 2018, the blue wave, was a realigning election, played out in the biggest possible way in Michigan. This strong economy does not produce jobs, does not produce wages increases for them, and so they don't see any wage increases. So I think they see a president who governs for the rich, not for working people. It's a hard road back, I think, for Trump to regain Michigan.